A couple of years ago, my partner and I decided to tackle 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. We dubbed that New Zealand's biggest gap year. Today is day 151 and we're going to check out Welcome Rock. It's iconic New Zealand landscape like you've never seen before. Join me at the end of the video where I'm going to go over all the comments you had the first time we published it. This is a real early morning for us today. We are waking up way before 4 o'clock and hitting the road toward Lumsden. We're having a very long day ahead of us. We're having a long drive, then we're having a long hike, and then we're having another long drive. So we are making our way out of Milford Sound as the sun is rising, and to be quite honest, this is a treat. The scenery is absolutely amazing. And it's around 10 AM that we arrived in a little township of Gadsden where we're going to be meeting Tom and Harry.
We are going to Welcome Rock, which is a rock which is going to be welcoming. This is all I know about it so far.
We hop onto Harry's car and following Tom on a quad bike just because our camper van will not make it on this very tortuous road that we're about to get onto.
We are heading up the Nevis Road to a network of hiking and biking trails called the Welcome Rock Trails. We arrive at the ski hut, which is where we're going to be starting a 27-kilometer journey, taking us about 6 to 8 hours. We are walking with Tom, who is the owner of the Welcome Rock Trails, and his worker Harry. And Tom tells us that it actually took him 2 years to form these trails by hand himself. What's more, it's only an hour's drive from Queenstown, so if you're staying in the Queenstown area, this is definitely a must-do.
The scenery surrounding us is looking absolutely amazing. We haven't been in such landscape since the beginning of our trip. Everything looks super deserted. It looks like a western movie, in fact. Every single grass is looking golden and tussock, and there is almost no wildlife around. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, we are in a subalpine environment which is endemic of this place in New Zealand. And we are about to figure out why this place is named Welcome Rock. There is a massive rock right in the middle of the mountain. It just stands out of everything else, which is a massive desert. And this is what is called Welcome Rock. And apparently there is something to be found here, and Laura just found it.
So since Laura found the bottle of whiskey, she has to drink it.
Maybe not a full shot. There's no choice anyway.
Well, almost a full shot. That's the English way of saying no.
Not a full one.
No, really, I couldn't possibly. Oh.
No, I don't like whiskey. Oh. Worth it.
Tom tells us that the quick story behind the whiskey is that workers and traders actually used to hide bottles of whiskey up here when they were travelling over the lands, and that tradition has been kept going till now. While feeling a little bit tipsy from our shots of whiskey, we head on to our next destination of Welcome Rock, which is the Slate Hut. And this is actually accommodation that people can come and stay here at about 1,000 meters high with amazing views out into the mountains in the distance. There's also an outside bathtub, which is pretty awesome. Continuing along the way, Tom tells us a lot more about what this area has been used for. So it used to be used for gold mining back in the day during the Otago Gold Rush, and then from there it's been used for farming and also for awesome hiking and mountain biking trails. There's still evidence of the gold mining era still seen on this track, so we are heading next to a waterfall which has been created for a water race which was cut into the hillside to bring water from the mountains which were filled with gold into this area.
Despite this place being one of the only places in New Zealand not featured in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, it definitely feels like we are in the middle of Middle Earth. It feels like Laura and I are part of the fellowship roaming around the land of Middle Earth right now. The next pit stop on our journey is a mud hut. This mud hut made of mud was actually built by the people that built the water race that we saw early on. And this very authentic mud hut is also one of the accommodation available alongside the Welcome Rock route.
The mud hut is decorated with all these candlesticks, there's old wine bottles, even skulls from animals. It's pretty rustic to say the least. And now we're getting onto the last leg of our trip on the Welcome Rock Trails. Because we have quite a drive left for today as we're heading down to Lumsden, we decide to pick up the pace and really speed through this last part of the Welcome Rock Trails. But that's not to say that we don't embrace the amazing scenery around us. We love how it's all open scenery here, so you can see all the way to the far-reaching mountains.
As you can see, I am clearly the fittest of the tribe.
Welcome Rock Trail was an awesome surprise. We had no idea it existed and we had no idea how awesome it was. But we now have a long drive toward the Lumsden Hotel, which is the one and only affordable accommodation in the little town of Lumsden. Milford! Milford! Milford sun and the sun! Milford sun and the sun! What? Were you recording that?
Yeah.
God. Alright guys, so it looks like it was quite a popular video. We had a lot of people absolutely gobsmacked by how amazing looking this place is. We had Daisy that's called it heaven on earth, which is really true. We have Wine in the World that said that that he was proud for Laura for drinking the whiskey. And yeah, Petra was saying that she really enjoyed the video and the website as well. If you don't know, we are the guys behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide. You can check it out at www.nzpocketguide.com. there is a link in the card somewhere around here, and that will help you plan your trip to New Zealand. It's all 100% free. We had Jerome that said that it was beautiful and stunning scenery. He did not know about it, so he's really happy to see us sharing such a great part of New Zealand. Scotia's Place said it was a really cool hike, and hoping that we were going to Mavora Lakes, but yeah, Mavora Lakes were a little bit more out of the way, so sadly we didn't make it to Mavora Lakes. And believe it or not, with 365 days all around New Zealand, 365 activities, we still left a lot of things behind, which is kind of unbelievable to us, to be quite honest. But yes, there is still some stuff to leave behind, but that's why we still have some other avenues to cover all those other places with you guys. I don't know if you know, but we do something called New Zealand Q&A every single Sunday. So it's a live Q&A where we hang out right here, Laura and I, and we answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. So if you feel like joining us for one of those, it's at 8 AM on Sunday every single week. So yeah, join us for that. And we also had the last comment that we're going to cover right here is David Lamb that says, damn, there is so much to do in New Zealand and he or she only has 8 days. So yeah, 8 days is definitely not enough to cover New Zealand. Oh, not enough to cover the southern of New Zealand, to be quite honest. So make sure to plan the trip as long as you can so you can cover as much as you can. Alright, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for another video. We will cover some more awesome places to visit in New Zealand. In the meantime, stay safe and have fun. Bye bye.